The night the Monkey Man entered our home, inspired by true events. The family lived in a narrow settlement pressed against the eastern edge of Delhi, where buildings were added layer by layer without permission or planning. Brick rested on brick because no one had stopped it. Tin roofs sagged under stones placed to keep them from lifting in the wind. Electrical wires drooped overhead like vines, sparking when it rained. Inside one such room lived Ramesh, his wife Meena, their 2 children, and Ramesh's younger brother. One room, one doorway, a single opening near the ceiling for air. At night, they slept close together because there was no other way. The first story of the Monkey Man reached them through the radio. It was late, and Ramesh was repairing a fan that no longer worked. The announcer spoke carefully, as if choosing each word might prevent something from happening. Another reported attack, another injured resident, police urging calm. Meena looked up from preparing lentils. They say it climbs buildings. Ramesh snorted. They say many things. The next day, a newspaper appeared in the lane. Someone had left it on a crate near the water pump. The headline showed a sketch. Long limbs, glowing eyes, sharp hands. Children gathered around it, whispering. Ramesh tore a corner of the paper off to clean grease from his hands. "Fear makes people foolish," he said, "and foolish people make good stories." The night was unusually still. The usual clamor of Delhi, the honking, the shouting, the rats in the gutters was absent, swallowed by heat and power outage. Meena sat with the children on the roof, their blankets pressed against concrete that still held the day's sun. Ramesh was inside, fixing a loose shutter, unconcerned. From the corner of her eye, Meena thought she saw movement across the alley. A shadow shifted on the adjacent rooftop, just at the edge of the dim street light. At first, she thought it was a neighbor sneaking home, but the movement was too deliberate, too fluid. The figure paused, crouched low, and waited. A sudden crash echoed from another building. A neighbor had fallen from a ladder while checking his roof. Meena's heart jumped. The shadow reacted, pausing as if startled, then disappeared behind the building in a single, silent motion. There had been no scramble, no stumble, nothing human in the way it vanished. She called to Ramesh, whispering urgently, "There's something on the roof across from ours. I saw it." Ramesh shook his head. "Probably someone fixing their tiles. Don't start imagining monsters now." But Meena could not shake the feeling that they were being watched. For the first time, she wondered if the stories were true. Her hands stayed pressed to her chest the entire night, eyes flicking toward every rooftop, every shadow. The Monkey Man had observed. It had chosen not to act. But the awareness, the calculation, settled uneasily into Meena's mind. When she fell asleep, it was with a certainty that would not leave her. It was deliberate. It would return. But the city began to change. Television crews arrived in nearby neighborhoods. Men stopped sleeping through the night, rooftops filled with watchful figures holding sticks and broken pipes. The children started asking why they could no longer play on the roofs after sunset. Every evening, the same images played on the small television at the tea stall. Reenactments, expert panels, witnesses describing something tall and fast that watched before it attacked. Meena began locking the door at night. Ramesh told her to stop. If it were real, he said, they would have caught it already. When power cuts forced people onto rooftops to sleep, Ramesh refused. He said walls were safer than rumors. They slept on the floor, sweat-soaked, listening to distant sirens and the occasional shout echo through the settlement. Fear moved quietly. It crept through conversations. It sat in silence. It waited. The night the Monkey Man came, the air was thick and unmoving. The children had struggled to sleep. Meena lay awake long after Ramesh's breathing settled, staring at the dark opening near the ceiling. Something shifted there. At first she thought it was heat playing tricks on her eyes. Then the shape lowered itself. The creature entered without sound, folding inward to fit the space. It crouched with practiced ease, its back brushing the ceiling, its limbs bent at angles that made Mina's stomach tighten. She could not scream. Its skin looked wrong, stretched in places, patchy with coarse hair that did not fully hide what lay beneath. Its eyes reflected light sharply, but they did not dart or blink. They studied. It stepped closer. Mina felt pressure on her shoulder, fingers digging in with careful strength. Pain flared instantly. She cried out then, and the room erupted. Ramesh woke shouting, lunging toward the shape without thought. The children scrambled back, screaming. The creature reacted faster than any of them, striking Mina aside and pivoting toward Ramesh. It did not attack wildly. It struck with intent. Ramesh grabbed it, felt muscle beneath skin that should not have moved that way. They collided with the doorway, crashing into the open night beyond. The creature twisted free and leapt upward, landing on the roof with impossible balance. Ramesh followed. Neighbors would later say they saw two shapes on the roof, one moving like a man, the other like something imitating one. There was shouting, a struggle, then Ramesh's foot slipped on loose stone. He fell. The sound of his body hitting the ground ended the chaos. Police arrived quickly, too quickly. Floodlights swept the settlement. Orders were shouted. Men with weapons climbed ladders and surrounded the roof. The monkey man crouched near the edge, chest heaving. It did not run. When they stunned it, it collapsed without resistance. Mina watched from below as they wrapped it in heavy cloth and loaded it into a vehicle with no markings. No one spoke to her. The next morning, the newspapers were decisive. Monkey man. Panic claims another life. No creature found. Police confirm hoax. Man dies after falling during hysteria. There was no mention of Mina's injuries, no explanation for the marks on the walls, no acknowledgement of what dozens of people had seen. The city exhaled. Within days, patrols ended. Rooftops emptied. The monkey man faded into embarrassment. Ramesh became a cautionary tale, a man who refused to believe until belief no longer mattered. Far from Delhi, beneath a government facility unlisted on any map, a creature was kept alive behind reinforced glass. Electrodes traced unfamiliar neural patterns. Doctors argued about classification. Military officials discussed containment. The file identified it as a biological anomaly recovered during a public disturbance. It was learning. The monkey man was never a hoax. It was proof, and proof, when inconvenient, is never destroyed, only hidden. The monkey man was first witnessed in Delhi back in 2001. Many tried to dismiss it as someone in a costume, but those who lived through it know what they saw. The rooftops, the shadows, the way it moved. It wasn't human. If you want more stories like this, and to uncover the truth behind legends the world tries to forget, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. The darkness is always closer than you think.